Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting FMSCI Asia Pacific Single Seater Esports Championship 2022. We bring this to you live from Phillip Island in Australia, where we have four countries across the Asia Pacific region battling it out for the victory and the spoils in this Esports Single Seater Championship 2022. We've got Australia, Hong Kong, India, and Singapore taking part in this series today for you, and we bring it to you from Phillip Island, where we have two exciting 20-minute races, which is first, with first being up is a 10-minute quali session before that. And just to get it easy on the viewers to understand how they can differentiate between the countries, it's very simple. With the blue stripes on the timing screens, it's Australia, the white stripes is Hong Kong, the orange stripes is India, and the dark red is Singapore. Out of that, we've got 14 exciting drivers joining us today. Callan Chen from Singapore, right now leading the practice timings. Benjamin Roberts from Australia, Tom Katzidonis from Australia, Liam Reston from Australia, and Mari Vatananian from Australia as well. Then we've got Calix Poon, Paxson Chan, Andy Lee, and Jackson Wong representing Hong Kong. We've then got Veer Seth, Dylan Zakaria, Chris Nakdev, Abdul Fatah representing India. And then we've got, finally, for Singapore, we have Callan Chen leading the time sheets right now, and Devesh Alluri at present for Singapore. This is going to be a super exciting race, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a cracker. That is something we've got to see. We haven't seen these single-seater cars out in the esports paddock for a very, very long time. It is the iRacing. We're running this on the iRacing series. It's brought to you by the FMSCI as well. This is going to be an exciting afternoon for us to do this. We're racing here at the exciting Phillip Island circuit in Australia. It's 4.4 kilometers long. It's been a history. It's been a track with some unbelievable history in the MotoGP racing series. It's a fast circuit with some elevations, some tight, twisty corners, and it's been a joy to watch the MotoGP bikes around there. But now we've got these monster single-seaters now with us here to and four countries now representing us to take us around this Phillip Island circuit. I think this is going to be one to watch out for. At least we've got nice clear weather. We've got about 25 degrees track temperature, and as always, I am joined by Sohail Seth. Sohail, welcome. It's great to have you back. It's been a while. How are you?
I am fantastic on today. It's been a while since we've done this together. Hopefully we don't mess something up because it's been so long.
I got dragged out of bed early this morning to say we've got to go commentate, and here we are. So, like you said, we hopefully don't mess it up today, and we take you through the next 1 hour or so, and hopefully provide a little bit more entertainment, not through us, but through the drivers and the racing on the track. But that being said, so we've got an exciting lineup of people here, and we've got some old names returning like Dylan Zakaria, Abdul Fatah, Chris Nakdev. It's good to see these guys back in the esports series now coming back to life, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the last time we saw these guys was during the COVID times when we were hosting all these online esports races, and now we are back without the COVID and doing the exact same thing again. And now we've also included multiple countries here, like you mentioned earlier. We have Singapore, Australia, and Hong Kong as well joining us. And to be fair, even these guys are really, really quick. I mean, looking at the timesheets, some of them are so close to each other. I mean, we could be looking forward to a fantastic race today.
I mean, there's less than a second that covers pretty much the top 10 if you look at the entire thing. And I think qualifying is going to give us some surprises, not to be said, because when we were watching practice the last 1 hour, we did see the Australians dominate most of practice. But right at the end, we can see Callan Chen there, who's come out and put looks like a stunner of a lap. So I don't know, we might just see a little mixed up grid hopefully out there.
Yeah, I mean, as of now, even as you said, the Australians are dominating. They are taking this pause from second to fifth, and the whole grid currently in a Singapore sandwich. But as we move on to qualifying right now, it's a 10-minute qualifying session. Each driver has a maximum of 4 laps that they can take that they can use to show us and put it onto the top spot if they can.
Absolutely, I think that's exactly what every driver here is aiming for, is that pole position. But so here, in a race like this, where we have a 20-minute race, no pit stops, it's what every man for himself. how important on a track like this is pole position?
As you can see, like it's a very tight, twisty track. The Dallara F3 cars being a car where you can have a lot of dirty air going through, as everybody right now on their outlaps. Um, there can be a lot of overtaking happening. As you can see, there are long straights, there are tight corners, there are heavy braking corners as well, where we could see potentially a few dive bumps coming through. So pole position might not be the most important thing here, but you probably do want to be in the top four to top six at least.
That's for sure. But looking at how close these guys were at practice, it is going to be a close race. There's hardly anything in it between the top 14 for sure. But at the end of the day, like you said, if it's the top four, they do have a certain advantage when they go out on track. But that being said, we're seeing these guys on their outlaps. Of course, I mean, none of these times are purely representative because we did see them do quicker times out there as well. But that being said, so here we do have, and how this works is when we do finish this race, we have the top two finishing drivers of each country receive points. So the top 10 pretty much get points. We're scoring them like the FIA Formula One, which is the first gets 25, second gets 18, third gets 15, and so on forth. All the way till we go to the top 10. But only the top two drivers within the top 10 will receive points from each country, and that's just to keep it fair. So we have a lot more fairness across the board. But and when we saw Australia dominating in practice, which pretty much meant they have the top spot at the moment. But that being said, so here we've got round two in Mount Panorama tomorrow, so we still sit within Australia, and then we go to Suzuka on the 29th of October for round three. So it's three big rounds coming our way, and we're still in the middle of qualifying. We're picking this up now on a flying lap. I think this is Abdul Fattah Sohail.
No, this is Jackie Wong actually.
It's Jackie Wong. I've got me wrong then. This is Jackie Wong on his lap. He's setting pretty quick middle sectors right now. Huh?
Yeah, he's one of the first cars on the track that we have, and he is definitely setting quick sectors, as I can see on my timing screen. And he definitely looks like he's putting up a decent showing. And actually, to be somebody's just taken away the middle sector away from Jackie Wong. So as he comes across the across the start finish line just about now, we'll see what sort of a lap time he's put up.
Ooh, he's got a purple sector right there at the end as well. So he does have purple sector, but is that going to be beaten? Is that lap competed enough? A 123.3. And Dylan goes right behind him with a 123.6. But it's been beaten already by Tom Katsadonis from Australia with a 122.6. That is a mighty lap, Sohail, by the Australians.
Yeah, I mean these cars are really on the edge on the first 2 to 3 laps. Like the tires take an age to come into temperature, and a 22.6 on lap one just shows how quick that team is. Even the other two Australians are keeping up with them. But Kalen Chin, he drops a 22.4 bomb straight up out of the bat. Lap one, he's got one more lap to go. Let's see if we can ride on board with him.
Because Kellen Chin was very, very quiet all the way through practice until the last 4 or 5 minutes, where he started lining up the timing sheets, and then by the time he finished, he was on top of the timing sheet. So I wonder if he was hiding and sandbagging all through practice, and now we're seeing a whole different Kellen Chin. But then, just as I say that, Liam Reston now puts in a 122.3, and that's Sohail is starting to see the timings drop and these tires come to play now.
Yeah, like we said earlier, the Australians just dominating the top 5 spots, out of which 4 are Australians. So they are coming here with proper aggression. They really want to make their mark in the Asia Pacific region, that's for sure. And I'm quite sure they're going to take it up further ahead. But Kalen Chin, like we said before, Kalen's really been on the scene online as well. I've seen him a couple of times here and there, and he's got a good record on himself. So he's definitely one to watch out for, like we said, as he's about to kick the last corner to finish his second and final flying lap. Second? No, wait, he's got 2 more flying laps. So this is second flying lap coming through right now.
We still see the top 2 dominator, right? There we go. He's back on top again, Kellen Chin, with a 122.2. So the timings are dropping to the 122.4 we saw earlier. And now I can see the timings drop very, very quickly. So track's probably rubbering it as well. But in the top 6, we've got our first Indian driver there, Veer Seth, at the 122.9. Still looks quite off the pace from the top 5.
Yeah, I think he's just struggling with the tires, heating and everything, like I mentioned earlier. But we're currently looking at Paxton Chan, who is currently P9, has the purple sector 1 and the green sector 2. So he's definitely on a pretty good lap as he's taking the last corner right now, coming through.
And I wonder if he's going to light these timing screens up for us, but doesn't not quick enough. So here at that point, Paxton Chan still about five, but not in the top five. But that shows you how competitive this track is. Between the top five, there is absolutely nothing in it at the moment.
It is really close again. If you take the top six, I think about 2 tenths at max, 2.5 tenths, just separating them. And even at the back of the field, P7 to P10 is again covered in just 2 to 3 tenths.
Indeed, I mean, it is a very tight field through and through. And then we see Calix Spoon there break into the top five now with a 122.4. That was a great lap from Calix because we didn't see too much of him in practice. But now, I think the guys from Hong Kong are starting to show their true colors.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were quite lowly sitting at the back of the field in practice, like not showing too much. But I think now is when they're starting to build up a bit more and more. As you know, like the track improves session by session. It is improving every single lap people take. So maybe that's coming into their favor here and there. Maybe they were struggling to find grip with their setups.
Sure, I think that's something we could see. I mean, with the grip with the setups and that's something. How important is that? So, setting that car up right, even in an esports series, while it's not the real world, you're probably not going to feel the car like you do in a real world. How important is it to get your setup right within this esports world?
I think it doesn't really matter what you're racing, real life, esports. The setup variations can be different across the whole board because I mean one guy could be running a completely different setup to the other even on the esports platform and still be as quick as the other because it's like you have every single detail of the car that you can still make changes to. You have the push rods, for example, which is quite a bit of a detail, I would say, in action in esports even, to be fair. And just things, just small things, the toe camber, these are all the bigger things that I'm mentioning right now, but the changes on these things can make such a big difference on the way the car behaves.
Indeed, I think that's something that's really something interesting to know for someone like Sohail. If, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you guys know, but he is a real life racing driver and a sim racing driver, so he has the knowledge and the experience from both worlds, and the insights we get from Sohail, especially when we have racing series like this, is quite spectacular to be honest. And now we've got about 2 minutes of qualifying left now, Sohail, where we see the Australians now with Benjamin Roberts with a 122 flat. Here's now the timing. The timing the last time we came back has dropped 4 tenths already, and that is some margin for timings to drop.
Definitely, and I think most of these drivers are now done with their 4 laps of the qualifying session that they have. So we're coming to a pretty end to the session, and we've seen Abdul Fatah also. Like in practice, he was quite far behind. I think he was like in the mid 23s if I remember right, and now he's also brought back up some pace with a 22.8. But Veer Sheth also 4 tenths off of his practice lap time, at 22.5 in practice and a 22.9 in qualifying.
No, absolutely, you're absolutely right. The boys from India a little bit so I've seen struggle a little bit right now to keep up with the Australians and Callan Chin from Singapore as well. But these timings, so well, I think over the last 10 minutes we've seen them drop from a 123.4 all the way to a 122 dead, and that's 1.4 seconds. The top four have basically taken off their own times that they were setting in the beginning. And I think that should now, with about 30 seconds left on qualifying, I think most of these guys have finished their laps. Abdul Fattah's on a last flyer trying to improve that lap time. I wonder if he could improve it, but he's on three sectors that are not improving for him right now. So I don't think he's going to improve this lap time. It's going to sit as is right now for qualifying. But right on top, we have Benjamin Roberts with the 122 dead, and I think that is a testament to this track with Callan Chin trying everything he can, but at the end of it, still finishing a 10th behind Benjamin Roberts, and shows you in the top five, four of them, so here now, the Australians.
Yeah, like we said before, like they've just been dominating this practice session and the qualifying. I had a couple of them kept asking me a lot of questions as we built up to this, as to what was the fuel status like, how's the tire wear like, and all these questions regarding the car and regarding technicalities of the car that we have. So they have really been putting in a lot of effort, and it's now seen on the track. But here we have the grid for today's race.
There we go. Benjamin Roberts now starting P1 with Callan Chin from Singapore starting P2. Tom Katsidonis and Liam Reston, both the Australians, 3 and 4. On the next row of the grid, we have Marty Vatanen, the Australian. The next guy, the first Hong Kong, Paxton Chan. Then we've got Calix Spoon from Hong Kong, followed by the first Indian, Abdul Fatah, in P8. In P9, we've got Jackson Wong from Hong Kong, Veer Seth from India. In P11, sorry, we've got Andy Lee from Hong Kong, and P12, Chris Nagdev from India. With the timings there, Nagdev 1 second off that call off Benjamin Roberts almost. Now that is a big gap, and that to find that kind of time is going to be very hard during the race. But then to round it all off, we have Dylan Zakaria now 1.5 seconds off the pace in P13, and Devesh Alluri from Singapore rounding up the last row of the grid at the moment. But I think right now, just between the Australians in the top 5, there's got to be some kind of individual pride going on there for the victory, isn't there?
Yeah, there has to be everything on the line right now for these guys. I mean, they are representing their country over here. It's not really something that they would like to mess up. At least I wouldn't.
And now we're done with that 10-minute qualifying session. We're going to go straight into a 20-minute race. So how this is going to work is it's going to be a 20-minute race session that we have here. We're going to have these 4 countries battled out on track over 20 minutes. At the end of the 20 minutes, we will award points to the top 10, but only the top 2 of every country will have points, which now basically means Benjamin Roberts is on pole, followed by Callan Chin and row 1. We wait for the 5 lights. The 5 lights illuminate. We wait for them to get it out, and off we go racing. Benjamin Roberts gets a great start, followed by Callan Chin, then Tom Katsidonis and Liam Preston. It's a phenomenal start as we go down in turn 1. We still see Benjamin Roberts just about holding on to the lead. Callan Chin tried to come around the outside. He still hangs it out there with Tom Katsidonis as well on the inside. This is looking like a cracker on the first lap, but Paxton Chan and Calix Spoon is well behind them, battling it out, followed by Abdul Fatah, Veer Seth. Abdul Fatah is making up a couple of positions on top. I think Andy Lee seems to have some kind of a background, something happening on the timing screens there, but I could not follow it. But out in front, we have Benjamin Roberts still, with Callan Chin, Tom Katsidonis, all holding fort on the top 3 at the moment. Then it all just settled down as we get through the first half of this lap. We still have 20 minutes more of this racing, but this first half has actually seen a lot of changes going up and down the field, because I think Calix Spoon has been Calix Spoon and Paxton Chang there. Looks like they've lost out massively. Devesh Alluri as well. Looks like he's gone in the pits and had a massive crash. We can now see what happened there on the replay. Oh, there we go. We see a big contact there, I think, for Calix Spoon. That's what's taken him completely out of that equation there. He had a little, he's just basically lost the car there on the exit and then been shunted to him.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to go 3 wide through a really quick section, and none of them are going to give up on that position that they are fighting for. And we saw that the aftermath, 2 of the Hong Kong drivers straight out of the race. But they wouldn't be completely out of the race, because we do have fast repairs on to an unlimited setting as well, so they can just go in a second, quickly fix up their cars and get back in. And if we are coming to a safety car situation for any sort of reason, then they're straight back in the race, because 20 minutes is definitely a long time as we see somebody run wide at the back.
Absolutely. I think that was Veer Seth that rang back and gave Abdul Fatah the position back as well, because these two have been battling it out quite a bit. So have Chris Nagdev and Jackie Wong, the Indian and the Hong Kong, and the Indian and the Hong Kong car. Both of these guys battling it out. You see Chris Nagdev locking his wheels in there as he tries to block Jackie Wong, but it does not work. Jackie Wong takes that place back from Chris Nagdev. So there is a lot of exciting racing going up and down the field. That it is quite compact right now, the field, even after 2 laps in. But 2 laps in, we still see Jackie Roberts on P1, followed by Callan Chin, then Tom Katsidonis, Marty Vatanen, and there we see there's a battle between the Indian drivers, Abdul Fatah, Chris Nagdev. Both of them, they have not let up throughout this entire race. We see them now. We see Abdul Fatah trying to go around the outside. He's going to hang it around there. And now it's a drag now all the way down to the line. I wonder if he's going to be able to hold it around the outside. He's just not able to hold that car around the outside. But there he does. The outside for turn 1 now becomes the inside. It's down this drag, long straight. We're going to see if Abdul Fatah is going to take that place away from Chris Nagdev. And he does. He does, ladies and gentlemen. He has finally gotten that place back. But it's a great battle between the Indian drivers here. But while they're battling it out, they're giving Jackie Wong that little bit of space to check out. He's going to put a second in front of them. That's going to be a little hard to catch Sohail right now.
Yeah, definitely. Abdul Fatah has shown us he's got some pace right now. I mean, the field is still quite close from P6 to P10 are still very close. All the guys who were not involved in that lap one bit of an incident, they're all really close. But even P1 to P5, all of them really close to each other. And then there's a small gap to P6 Andy Lee.
Absolutely, I think they're just settling down now. After the first couple of laps, there was a little wheel banging, there was a little pushing, shoving, elbowing. We saw Kalik Spoon and Devesh Alluri then lose out quite a bit, including Paxton Chan right there. All these three now are running 12, 13, 14 right at the back. We've still got a long time to go. We've still got about 16, 15 minutes left. So they can make up that time, and we know how quick Kalik Spoon and Paxton Chan are. So I wonder if they can make that 16 seconds back from the back of the grid. But the guys in front right now, you can see now it's getting really close. Callan Chin now is making a move for the lead into turn one. Is he going to make this stick? He's going to make this stick. And Benjamin Roberts slots in behind him for the time being. We see there Callan Chin now showing us what he's worth, what he's made of, taking it towards the Singaporeans now for them. And he's leading this train of 4 Australians breathing down his neck now, Sohail.
Yeah, he's got a really big pack to hold up right now, and really fast ones, as he's already been attacked back by Benjamin Roberts. And is Tom gonna try and take advantage of the same situation to try and get Kalen? Are they gonna work as a team is the question here.
Well, he's in a little Aussie sandwich at the moment. He's pretty much the veggie marmite in between the two Aussie breads. But there we go. I think Callan Chin right now is going to hold his own. He's the one-man army out there, and they're working as a team. You can see that every time Benjamin Roberts gets in front, you see that Tom Katsadonis is hanging with him. He wants to go with him. He's trying to get around Callan Chin, but Callan Chin is really driving supremely well here. Ever since we saw those shades of purple at the end of practice.
Yeah, he's been on top of his game right now. He's just biding his time. He knows there are another 14 and a half minutes to go in the race, and any risky maneuver right now is absolutely no point. So they're just trading positions here and there, and Kalen knows that he's doing. See, he's not even going for the move right now. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, but there you see that. Katsadonis on the inside. What a move! I don't think he caught Kalen napping there to turn one. Kalen was lining up Benjamin Roberts there, but Tom Katsadonis caught him napping and took that line on the inside. That was a phenomenal move there, Sohail.
That was a really good. I thought they would be playing it smart and just holding on to each other's back for now, and Tom Katsadonis completely surprises us with this move on your screen right now.
There we go, man. He was there. We go. What a beautiful move. Tom Katsadonis laid on the brakes. Down the inside he goes on Kalen Chin, and Kalen stood absolutely no chance at that point in time. But when you see these two Australians now, is it me? Are they putting a gap now already on Kalen Chin? In half a lap, you've got him dropping about 3/10 behind Tom Katsadonis already in this moment.
Yeah, but like you saw, the slipstream is so strong in these cars as well. But so just as long as you're within the 5/10, 6/10 window of the leader, I think you're good. You're good to stay close together with each other. And you can see that they are approaching is that a back marker already in this race? Who is that? That must be Devesh Alluri.
It must be Devesh Alluri right at the back right now, because Jackie Wong, Devesh Alluri is running. They're running very slow paces. So I don't know if they've got damage in their car. These fixes come back on, but they are well off the pace right now.
Oh no, it's Jackie Wong actually. It's Jackie Wong.
Yes, yeah. Jackie Wong seems well off the pace. Seems to be going slow, but well, if he's good, they're going to catch a back marker. It's only a matter of time until we're going to see some more exciting racing, because you can see the three there now with the back marker hanging right there, and the three of them now as they come over the crest. You can see them hunting him down, but the three of these guys right now, so they put 1.6 seconds already in front of Mari Vachanalan right now.
Yeah, they are starting to pull away a gap. I think we're seeing the 1 lap pace in qualifying, but then what's key is consistency, and that consistency is shown in the race, and this is what these three drivers are now displaying, keeping close to each other at this point of time in the race, quite about reaching about the 50% stage of the race. They're keeping it quite close right now, and their consistency is showing that 10th by 10th, every single 10th or lap, 10 laps is down to a second. So you're 1.5 seconds behind after about lap 6. So it just shows that being more consistent is going to keep you up ahead.
There we go. You heard from Sohail Seth himself, ladies and gentlemen, that consistency is key to winning these races. And I think it's key to winning any race in any motorsport series. We can keep nailing in the lap times. You're going to be consistent and finish in the top, whatever, no matter what. But right now, we've got a great battle between the top three, with Benjamin Roberts leading from Tom Katsudonis. The Australians are in 1 and 2, which is a full point haul they have right now. But right behind them, you see Callan Chin, Mario right behind them with the Australians as well. Andy Lee then.
There's a car stuck on the grid there. I think it was Jackie Wong for some reason.
Yeah. Are we going to get a safety car now? Jackie Wong is stuck somewhere on an unsafe position on the grid. We'll have
Looks
to
like they've all gotten moving.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's a little bit of a glitch there, so we don't have a safety car. We would have been a little exciting to bring the safety car back up, but the pace that the top three are running right now is hectic, because as we have spoken, they put another 5 tenths, and they've got up another 2 seconds now on Mario, so he's got a little bit of work to do. But right behind them for 5th and 6th, it's a great battle going on between Abdul Fattah, Liam Reston, and Andy Lee, where Andy Lee suddenly has lost out and he's starting to drop down the timing sheet. So I wonder if Andy Lee made a mistake somewhere, where he's dropped off the timing sheets, because a couple of corners ago he was running a comfortable P5, and then he's just been overtaken by Abdul Fattah. So I wonder what's going on. There we go. We see a replay right now. We're on board with Andy Lee. We're with him. We're trying to see what happened. Is he going to lose it on his own? Yes, he does. He drops it on his own soil.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He was in a really good position. He just had passed Liam Reston for P5 as well. And unfortunate for him to give up position back to him and multiple other drivers, which includes Abdul Fattah, Chris Nagdev and Veer Sheth.
Indeed, I think they're just picking up the scraps at the moment. The Indian drivers, Abdul Fattah, Chris Nagdev and Veer Sheth, are on a little train of their own as we see this. But it is not the way the Indian drivers, as we knew them during Corona, when they were pumping in the lap times the quickest out there. In a way, it's nice to see that there's a whole bunch of people out there in the world that are quicker than we thought they would.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you always want to see a driver. I mean, this from my point of view, you probably want to see a driver who's slightly quicker than you. Not too much, just slightly quicker than you, so that you have something to learn out of if you don't know something. And I'm sure these guys are definitely gonna go back after this race in that 10 minutes of a break or warm-up session that we have, see what those guys are doing and try and apply some differences to see if they can bring back some pace for the next race.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that front. But right up in front right now, we're following Veer Sheth right now, Chris Nagdev. They've got a little battle going on, but they're a good 4 seconds off the lead. So, I mean, well more than 4 seconds off. I think they're a good 10, 12 seconds off the lead right now. But there we see him lining up a move right now with Benjamin Roberts now on Tom Katsudonis. This is for the lead. The Australians are now batting it out. Callan Chin hangs back behind, and Benjamin Roberts is going to try to hang on. But Tom Katsudonis now around the outside. Is Tom going to get it back? Now down the inside. Whoa! Benjamin Roberts, that was some great driving by him to defend that first position, because Tom came at him from corner 1 like an absolute dive bomb, Sohail.
Yeah, they both are playing a really good game here, and they're like, you know, really close to each other and having very clean battles. But I don't know if you noticed, Callan Chin was close to 7 tenths behind the two cars, and now this battle has brought him straight back into this mix.
Absolutely. I think it's also a point right now with 9 laps gone. So we're at the halfway mark, 12 minutes over at the moment. So 8 minutes of racing left and on. So, we see Veer Sheth there losing it again, and that gives Andy Lee back the position that he lost. So Veer Sheth, I think he caught him napping a little bit and completely lost it on his own somehow. Was he trying to make a move, and was there contact? There wasn't. He just lost it on his own.
Yeah, I think he just tried braking too late there, trying to make that move.
Completely misses breaking point, loses it on his own. Andy Lee takes that place back, says thank you very much, and off we go. But Veer Sheth now.
Oh, Andy Lee's gone off again. Andy Lee's gone off again.
Andy Lee's gone off. So what is happening, sir? So is it the tires now slowly starting to go off at this point?
Is it's the same thing that he's done before, I believe.
Indeed, it's a slow spin where you just see the fronts just over-rotate, and then he just into a lazy little oversteery spin. But yeah, it's weird that this is going on with Andy Lee constantly 2 laps in a row now, Sohail.
Yeah, and this has allowed Dylan Zakaria to go ahead and make up another position.
Well, Dylan there's hanging back, picking up the scraps because at the moment Dylan won't pick up points. It'll only be Abdul Fatah and Chris Nagdev as they finish in the top 10, but the top two only receive points, ladies and gentlemen. So, but out in front right now, between the top three, the battle seems extremely tight. There's 3 tenths between these guys, between Tom Katsudonis, Benjamin Roberts, and while we were commentating here, Tom Katsudonis has gone back and taken the lead of this race because Benjamin Roberts was leading this before this, and there we go. We see these top three now between each other. They're super close. There's absolutely nothing in it. And halfway into the race now, Sohail, is it surprising watching the top three run so close?
Actually, I'm surprised the top five aren't really close because looking at the way that these guys made up qualifying, I was really expecting all of them to be so close to each other. And right now that these guys are just battling it out
There we
top
go.
three.
Benjamin Roberts now has taken back the lead, Sohail. Dive bomb again on the inside. Controlled dive bomb this time with Tom Katsudonis starting back behind him. And that shows you, like you said earlier, the power of the toe on that straight is extremely powerful because these two for the last 3 or 4 laps have been swapping positions every time they come into T1 with Kalen Chin right behind them waiting to pick up the scraps.
Yeah, Kalen Shin is just, at least I hope this is what he's doing. I hope he's able to keep up his pace right there because I might sound a bit biased right now, but honestly, I really want to see multiple countries battle it out for the lead of this race, and that's what all this championship is about, for all of us to come together and to form one race and to battle it out for the lead.
Absolutely, Sohail. But in order to do that, you've got to win, and in order to win, you've got to be up there. In order to be up there, you've got to finish. So there are a lot of combinations that we see that needs to be battling it out, and you've got to be good. You've got to give it to the Australians right now because they're giving us a great show right up in the front of the grid with Kalen Chin right there from Hong Kong as well. So because the last couple of laps with the top three have been super entertaining, and I agree. I wish we saw a tighter grid like we did during qualifying or practice. But like you said, so at the end of the day, the one lap pace versus consistency is what separates the boys from the men.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now we're seeing the. I mean, I think Kalen is struggling to keep up with these guys. He is really consistent.
We're just seeing this 3 laps in a row now. The power of that straight, the power of that throw. Tom Katsudonis now back up into the lead with Benjamin Roberts behind. And during all of this, I think Kalen Chin has lost another 2 tenths on these guys right now. So they are running a rapid pace. They are not slowing down. They're not slowing down. Even though their teammates, their country mates, they know they both want victory.
Yeah, but I mean, they are really playing the team game right now because the slipstream is giving them about half a second to three, like 3 tenths to 5 tenths of a second on the straight, on the main straight alone. So they are using that slipstream to overtake each other in a way where they aren't losing that lap time. And when they don't lose that lap time, they both eventually gain. Because looking at my lap timing screens, the car in P1 between whoever is, whether it's Benjamin or Tom, them and Kalen in P3 are doing the exact same lap time. Just the car in P2, which is then overtaking the car in P1 and creating that extended gap.
Absolutely, I think that's what's going to make this race super interesting because I think, like you said, Sohail, there's so many permutations and combinations that go on in order to figure out who's going to win the race, what's going to happen, because we're going to come back down that long start finish straight again, and the power of the toe is going to give Benjamin Roberts is very close behind him. And with 7 laps to go, is Benjamin Roberts going to make another move for P1 because he's sticking right behind his rear wing, he's under his gearbox, but decides to stay there, but makes up another 2 tenths down that front straight. So we've got a big battle on our hands for the top two because in the meanwhile, Kalen Chin now almost a second behind the top two. So while they're up their pace, Kalen Chin just not able to hang on, followed by Mario in 4th place and Liam. So the Australians still there in the top 5, mighty strong right now because then followed by Abdul Fatah, Chris Nagdev, Veer Seth and Andy Lee rounding up the top 10 at the moment, and Paxton Chan in the top 10 at the moment. So we do have a mixed grid, more or less. We did not expect the guys from Hong Kong to drop off quite quickly and as badly, but the guys from Singapore with 2 drivers, Kalen Chin, holding that flag high for them right now.
Yeah, definitely. Kalen Shin is from Singapore, by the way, and Devish Alluri is the other driver from Singapore that we have. But now we see Kalen Shin actually just dropping off a little bit of the 2 leaders. But we did have a moment in the middle of the race where Abdul Fatah and Liam Reston were fighting it out for the lead, where Uh,
Oh, he braked way too late there. And
yeah,
then it's completely.
unfortunate for Abdul Fattah to have that mistake happen. Unless he was up for a really strong P5 after that not very good performance in practice, in fact. But as we come back to live action, we see
Oh,
Benjamin
you know,
Roberts
I
take the
think
lead from Tom Katsadonis.
absolutely. I mean, these guys have been swapping laps, swapping leads every single. Whoa! Is
Oh,
that a mistake there from Tom Katsadonis?
he
It
got
looks
wide.
like it was with his tail and chin. Looks like he's gone into second place. Tom Katsadonis, you could see him. He had a big snap on the exit right there. As Benjamin, there we go. I think he got way too close and almost ran in the back of Benjamin. And that's less. Oh, that is so unfortunate for Tom Katsadonis. He was running a phenomenal race with Benjamin right up there for the top two, but a little mistake. So you can see how costly that is because he's dropped down now to P4, 1.5 seconds almost behind P3 right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this even Mario has now gotten ahead of Tom, and Tom has a bit of work to do before he can fight for P3 win at this point of time.
Absolutely, but I think at this point we still got a good 6 laps in here. But yeah, we've still got a little bit of racing left to do. Sorry, in here we've got about a minute's racing left to do. So this is almost at the tail end. Then Sohail, where he's completely lost it on his lonesome. I mean, he was looking set for either a P1 or a P2, but that one small mistake. And Kalen Chin, while he was sitting there all this
Oh, it's the
while,
last lap of the race
quite
now. The
happy. Oh, this is
last
the
lap
last
starting
lap.
right now.
Indeed, this is the last lap, absolute last lap of the race. So, last lap of the race. So, it has been an unbelievable penultimate lap that we have, where we saw Tom Katsadonis unfortunately lose out from Benjamin Roberts, that little mistake. But now we have Benjamin Roberts, Kalen Chin, Mario, Tom Katsadonis, Liam Reston, Abdul Fattah, Chris Nagde, Vise, Andy Lee, Paxton Chan, Calix Spoon, Jackie Wong, Devesh Alluri and Dylan Zachariah, who's in the pits right now, retired from this race at present. But that has been an exciting race because we still have a second and 1.2 seconds between Kieran Chin and Benjamin Roberts for the lead. So Benjamin looks like he's got this in the bag, but that's what we thought until one lap ago. And then Tom made that little mistake. So Benjamin right now holding it on his own. He has driven a phenomenal race all through. He's been absolutely supreme, commanding, controlling. As we've driven as we've gone through this race over here, I mean, Tom threw everything at him, and he still held his own against his countrymen. Kalen threw a couple of things at him right up in the beginning, but defended extremely well against the Singaporean. And Benjamin Roberts now, as we come across the final turn, is going to cross the checkered flag in P1 for Australia. Benjamin Roberts wins in Phillip Island for race 1, followed by Callan Chin and Mario Vartananian in P3. That is the podium with Tom Katsadonis finishing 1.1 seconds. So he did make up a little bit of time, but in P4, just off the podium. That is a little unfortunate. Liam Reston rounds up the top 5, which means we have 4 out of the top 5 are still in the Australian, that they have that home track. They're celebrating well. This has been a brilliant race by Benjamin Roberts, so he'll take nothing away from him.
Yeah, a really strong race from the Australians there, blocking out 4 positions out of the top 5, and Kalen Chin, the sole Singaporean in the top 5, showing us how it is done, being one man in 5 different, like amongst the 4 different other drivers from a different country.
Absolutely. I think with the end of that race, so it's been an exciting round 1 that we've had. The Australians being dominant at their home track in Phillip Island. We're going to come back in about 10 minutes' time with round 2, and that's going to be another 20-minute race, and we score them accordingly. But in round 2, we're going to reverse the grid. So the top 12 will be reversed. So can then Benjamin Roberts, Kalen Chin, and Mario, and Tom, and Liam make that time up from the back of the grid? I have no doubt they can. But as we finish today, Benjamin Roberts takes the spoils with Kalen Chin in second place, Mario in third, Tom Katsadonis in fourth, the Australian Liam Reston in fifth, the first Indian Chris Nagde finishing in sixth, 30 seconds off the leader. A big gap and a lot of work for the Indians to do. Veer Seth then in seventh place, Andy Lee in eighth, Paxton Chan in ninth, Calix Spoon in 10th, Abdul Fattah in 11th. We had a lot of hope for Abdul Fattah, but he's finished 1 lap down. Jackie Wong, Devesh Alluri, and Dylan Zachariah are top 14. for this first FMSCI Asia Pacific Single Seater Esports Championship 2022 in Phillip Island.
We have one more race coming up in 10 minutes, so please do not leave the stream if I was to mention the same.
Indeed,
Uh,
absolutely. That's well said. Yeah, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Get a little bit of water, grab a snack, and come back because we've got 20 minutes of absolute unpredictable racing, especially when we're going to reverse the grids at this point in time.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to be a reverse grid of the finishing top 12 drivers. So if we have the results back on screen, we're going to see Jackie Wong starting in pole position, followed by Abdul Fattah, Alex Spoon, Maxi Chan, and Elise. So this time it's the four Hong Kong drivers in the top 5 of the race, and it'll be interesting to see how the Australians and Kalen, with the pace that they have, uh, bring up and, like, try and make these moves back up.
I mean, the pace we have right now is they made 30 seconds off these guys in 20 minutes. I'm a little worried, honestly, going in because it is going to be super interesting to watch the Australians come through the field. It is going to be exciting racing because we've got to get a lot more wheel-to-wheel action, a couple of mistakes like we saw Tom Katsadonis do in the past. But then at the same time, it is going to be an opportunity for the Indians and the Hong Kong and the guys from Singapore like Devesh Alluri to make up a couple of places here at this moment in time.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna see a lot of stuff that we hopefully haven't seen so far, such as
Indeed.
some great, really good battles right now. I mean, yeah, I mean, these Australians are going to show us, and the Galen's going to show us some moves that we do. Hopefully, not actually any crashes, because that would be disappointing for them. Like a lot, like considering that how quick they are. I mean, they do have 20 minutes of a race, so they need to bide their time with their moves, and just make sure that the move is clean, get maximum points for the team and for themselves.
Absolutely, I think that's something we've got to wait and watch when we come back in 10 minutes time.
Yeah. We have another 7 minutes to the start of this race. We're just looking onto these drivers right now. The weather is not bad. It's like it's about sunset. It's 4:30 in the evening in the game. It's 21 degrees. It's a nice temperature to be in, no?
It is. I mean, it is a great track. So I've ever been down that side and watched the races on MotoGP. That crest coming down from turn one when you ride over the crest, and all you see in front of you as you're coming up the Starfield Straight is ocean in front of you. It looks like you're riding into the ocean or driving into the ocean with T1 nowhere in sight until you come off the crest and you suddenly see it approach you very, very fast corner. And a great corner and a lot for overtaking where we've seen from the last race. A lot of opportunities, a lot of opportunistic moves can be pulled around that turn one corner because it is a great corner for overtaking.
Yeah, definitely. Even the last corner, a very exciting looking corner, as you see Liam Resson going. Okay, never mind. We just switch cameras, shall we? Yeah, we're back at Liam Resson. He's approaching the last corner. I think soon now. And that last corner is such a it's a very long left-hander. If we just pull up the screen where it shows us the track layout, yeah, there it is. So you can see that the last corner just coming onto the straight, it's a very long left-hander, and I believe most of it is flat out in these cars except for a very tiny lift at the last corner.
Absolutely, you're completely correct because this track we've seen a lot. I mean, it is a legendary circuit in the MotoGP corner. I mean, all these corners. Turn one is called the Do-In corner, for example. Turn three is the Stoner corner, for example. You've got Lukey Heights in turn nine. You've got the Honda corner in turn four. The Southern Loop. So it is a great track to ride on. It's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of character. It's a fast flowing track, like we said, and of course. Knowing the Australians, they probably know this track like the back of their hand at the moment. So it's probably giving them a little bit of home advantage, but let's not take that away from them because Callan Chin did give them an absolute run for their money last race. I wonder what he's going to be able to do from the back of the grid now, sir.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I really want to see some close battles on the grid. I really want to see some battles that give us that excitement that we are looking for from some of these drivers that we may not have seen, because we've only been through one race in the series yet, and we've got five more to go, with one more coming up in a few minutes' time. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be something to watch, I believe.
No, you're absolutely right, because I think this is when we're racing in the series like this is where the excitement is. This is where all of it starts and stops, and this is also what racing drivers do on their days off as well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in a car for a quite some time, and I'm just sitting at home on the sim in the gym, just making sure I'm fully ready for whatever has to come whenever. And yeah, and esports is a way to get your mind off of stuff and get yourself in the racing mood and make yourself feel like you're in a car. To a certain degree, and I think it's the closest thing, as long as you have the right equipment for it.
And when you're not in the car, so well, how often are you in a sim, or even before a race, for example, if it's in track you're not very familiar with, do you go to the sim and use it a lot just to understand the track, understand where your breaking points could be and what you could do on the track?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest things that you're gonna learn out of an esport sim is that which direction does the track actually even go? Because you can't look at a map and be like, all right, it's going left now, it's going right now. You cannot look at a map and say, okay, that corner's flat out, and you cannot do that, because until unless you take it flat out, you're not going to be able to take it flat out. Simply because I mean, it looks completely different when you're driving to onboard shots even, like if you go on board a car right now at Phillip Island, and then you were to go drive around Phillip Island in real life, you're probably going to see corners in many different ways that you haven't seen before.
Oh yeah, that is these are the insights that I always love getting from you, Sohail, because um, this is something that our viewers always. I've always get questions saying that why do you put so much emphasis on esports? Why is it so important? But a lot of people don't realize that the amount of time that you guys racing drivers actually spend in your cars is very limited compared to the amount of times you guys spend on your on the sims.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, track time or practice time is a very vital factor in racing in general, whether it's online, real life, because you need to know the ins and outs of the car that you're driving, the ins and outs of the track that you're driving on, and you how do you don't get that by driving on those cars, in those cars, on those tracks. And the thing about esports is that it's accessible to everybody, and you can choose whatever track you want to go. You can be sitting in India and go to US the next minute, and then you can come back to Australia the next minute.
Yeah, see, you got the world at your fingertips in short. So at the switch of a button, you're driving in Australia, you're driving in America. You basically got the world at your fingertips. And while since you've got that kind of advantage, do you think for the younger drivers coming up through the ranks right now, just to hone their skills, because in a country say like India, Singapore, or Hong Kong, where racing tracks are very limited, do you think something like spending so much time on a sim gets them to hone their skills a lot more in tracks they're unfamiliar with, in areas they're unfamiliar with, cars they're unfamiliar with?
I would say it's not completely that you can get all skill out of esports. Obviously, you can practice some techniques on the sim, but then to apply it in real life is going to be a completely different thing. Because when you're sitting on a sim, you're sitting on a seat which is not moving. The only sort of feedback that you're getting out is from the steering wheel, and if you have a bit of technology with you, then a bit more from your back or something. But you get the full feel when you're actually in the car, with the car moving itself, moving your whole body in certain directions depending on which way you're turning, and that gives you a completely different feel on how this works, and the way you apply everything is completely changes when you get into the car.
Well, spoken like a true racing driver, just as the checkered flag drops, you've basically got to feel it from your butt, is what you're saying. And the seat doesn't move, you're not going to feel a lot of it in a real car. But with that said, we're done now with that 10-minute little practice session, a break that they had, where the drivers could regroup, redo their strategies, as we're going to have a reverse grid now. and the feature race will start, because this is going to be an interesting one, Sohail, with 20 minutes. And we see the Australians are all in the back of the grid now. I think it's Jackie Wong on pole, Abdul Fattah in second place, Alex Poon in third. So it is an interesting, very, very interesting mixed grid. There we go. We've got a confirmation now in the FMSCI Asia Pacific Single Seater Esports Championship with Jackie Wong on pole position as we're reversing the grids for race number 2. Abdul Fattah shares the front row with him. On the second row, we've got Alex Poon and Paxton Chang, the guys from Hong Kong. Then on the third row, we've got Andy Lee from Hong Kong, Veer Seth from India. The fourth, we've got Chris Nagdev from India and Liam Reston.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you short because the race is starting right now.
Well, all right, we've got 5 lights and off we go. Let's see, Jackie Wong can get a great start. He does not. Abdul Fattah, I can already see, is in P1. Abdul Fattah's got him napping. Paxton Chang is already up in front. So Jackson Wong is on third place. Andy Lee and Paxton Chang. Abdul Fattah battling it out in the P1, but Abdul Fattah is going to come out on top of this. Is he going to hold that braking zone? He's left him enough width for Paxton Chan. Paxton Chan now tucks in behind him for the time being, but behind him, we've already seen Liam Reston making up a couple of places in the back. Paxton Chang, Jackson Wong, Alex Poon, Andy Lee, the Hong Kong boys now. 2, 3, 4, 5, hounding Abdul Fattah. Abdul Fattah coming under a lot of pressure from, it's a big lock up there from Jackson Wong, and it's taken him out of the race. He's going to drop right onto the back, and a spinner as well. Paxton Chan there has spun to that first lap. Both the guys from Hong Kong who are hounding Abdul Fattah have both spun out. Jackson Wong, Andy Lee, both making mistakes. Hong Kong only now have Alex Poon chasing after Abdul Fattah with Kaylin Chin already up in the third place. That is a mega start for Kaylin Chin. Veer Seth now in fourth place. Benjamin Roberts, Liam Reston, and Tom Katsudonis. These guys are now coming. They are coming, and you see Benjamin Roberts already lining up Veer Seth for a move. So this is an intense first lap. The Indians are under a lot of pressure from Kaylin Chin, already on top, made his way up into the podium spots. Abdul Fattah's got a 2-second lead out in front. I wonder if he can hold it against the might of these Aussies. And we see them now streaming down. Veer Seth, Tom Katsudonis on one end, Benjamin Roberts on the other side. Liam Roberts on the other side. Liam Reston and Benjamin Roberts hounding Abdul Fattah as we go to turn 1. That is, not Abdul Fattah, Veer Seth as we go to turn 1. That was a mega opening lap. So we can see how much time Kalen, Liam, Benjamin have already made up.
Yeah, I mean, Killen is already going for a move for P2. I mean,
He's up in a P2. Is he up in a P2? He is. He is up in a P2. So Kalen is not wasting any time around here. Wants the lead, wants the victory. Was denied it the last time by Benjamin Roberts. But here we go. Kalen now is making much quicker progress than we anticipated.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he knows he has to make this moves count and make sure he's done all of them cleanly without damage, because he knows that the moments the Australians are released, they are gonna come for him. Not that he's slow or something, Kalen, but he knows that they're gonna work as a team because they have the team with him in the front.
Absolutely, but I think right now we're seeing Dylan Zacharias out in the pits, Mario Martinanian as well out in the pits, so Jackie Wong as well out in the pits. So there's a couple of people dropping off our timing screens, but right now we're on board with Liam Reston now on making a move on Alex Poon to go up into the podium places, and there we have the first Australian now in the podium places already. So Alex Poon losing another place. Not the greatest of starts for him today, but now he's got Benjamin Roberts to compete with and contend with behind him, and Benjamin looks like he's all over his gearbox, looking very impatient. Our winner from round 1 looks like he wants to get the move done very quickly. But while we're saying this, Alin has taken a second out of Abdul Fattah in the previous lap.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the Benjamin looks a little hustly over there, like wants to get past Alex Poon as soon as he can, which honestly makes sense because in the distance he's looking at Caleb and Liam just run away from him, and the further they go ahead, the longer it's going to take for him to catch up and pass them eventually.
Absolutely, I think this is something that we're intently waiting and watching and seeing. And there we go, he's already trying to make a move. Up, there we go, around. He does it around the inside. That was a great move around Alex Poon by Benjamin Roberts, even before they got to turn 1. So it was a really good move by Benjamin Roberts there. Now up in a P4. Now he's got Liam Reston to continue. But Tom Katsudonis now on Veer Seth. He's lining him up for a move. He's all over his gearbox. Veer Seth takes the inside line, driving very defensively. Tom then moving around the outside is going to give him a little more of that slipstream, a little more speed as he exits, and you can see the power of that toe. Tom now is going to make no work of here, but Veer Seth, he's putting that car in the middle of the track, positioning it beautifully, but has no match right now as Tom Katsudonis comes down into turn one. Oh, but is Veer hanging on? He is hanging on there. He's coming in, and that was a great move by Veer to take that spot back. So the Indians elbows out today.
I mean, we do know Veer Sheth is a real life driver himself, so he definitely knows on how to make and keep moves, and fair to him, they have kept it really clean. But is this gonna get very tight here? Oh.
He's not tried. He tried, but Veer is just sitting, putting his car in all the right places on that racetrack, making it very, very hard for Tom Katsudonis and probably annoying him under that helmet of his car right now.
Sorry, not annoyingly. He's got, like, ironically, yeah, that's the word. Ironically, Tom Katsudonis got full send all over his car.
And he's been held up by a real life racing driver. Veer Seth.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Tom has made a mistake again. Is he gone off again? He has.
Oh.
With a big crash with Chris Nagdev, that is going to ruin both their races. I can see Tom has got a big accident, a big impact. We've got to make it back in the pit lane. It's going to be a big recovery from Tom right here. But up in front right now, we've got Abdul Fatah and the two leaders. Oh, there you see him. Chris Nagdev could do absolutely nothing.
It's
on
not
that
the best of rejoins. It's not the best of rejoins from Tom there.
It's not the best at all, Tom. That was a little impatient. I think Tom is out of the race there. He's in the pits trying to get fixed. But up in front, you got to go back up in front. Now we've got Abdul Fatah not trying to make a move. I think on Kalen Chin has now gotten the lead. But Abdul Fatah and Kalen Chin, this is a battle for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. And Kalen Chin is now got one length in front of him. Kalen Chin's got a little bit wide. Is that going to give Abdul Fatah the advantage going back to the next corner? Absolutely not. Kalen Chin shuts the door on him and takes the lead again. So Kalen Chin now, ladies and gentlemen, in the lead of this race. Abdul Fatah in second, Liam Reston in third, Benjamin Roberts now 1.1 seconds off these guys in the leading group. It was a good move by Kalen Chin, but a great defensive drive by Abdul Fatah. And you can see that there, Sohail. That was a good move around the outside.
Yeah, and Abdul Fatah waited no longer to come back at him. Tried immediately to go around the outside and keep the pressure on. Make sure to tell him that, you're not done with this yet and I'm coming back for you.
Absolutely. I think on that front, you can see him there. He comes back at him, keeps that move down around the inside, then makes the inside line, the outside line, but sticks with Kalen Chin through all of that. And I think all this racing in the top two is letting the guys behind them also close up. But there we see Kalen Chin then gets the job done, shuts the door and says, thank you very much. I will take that first place, as he was denied it the last time out. So Kalen Chin now in the lead of this race, followed by Abdul Fatah, and Abdul Fatah coming under tremendous pressure now from the first of the Australians, Liam Reston there, Sohail.
Yeah, Liam Reston's diving down the outside, and now they all three are really close. On the leaderboard now, you can see the best laps that these drivers have done, and Abdul Fatah has done a 1 minute 22.9, which is definitely slower than the cars ahead of him. And a couple behind him, but he's not done bad to keep up with them. He is staying right there for a bit of the time, so he is decently consistent at what lap time he's doing, which is definitely great to see. I mean, I would love to see an Indian to finish on the podium in the first race weekend, considering the way the qualifying and the practice sessions went. But right now he's 4 tenths behind Liam Reston, and we're reaching the main straight.
Absolutely, and we're still not even halfway through the race, and we've gotten so much going on. And just to recap right now, as things start to settle down, we see the top three. Well, are they ever going to settle down? That's the question, because Liam Reston now is starting to put in, pumping in fast slap out of fastest laps, closing the gap now to Kalen Chin. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to get exciting, because we've only got about 12 minutes of racing to go. The top three covered by less than a second. Oh, is that Abdul Fatah now making a mistake? He did. Abdul Fatah's made a mistake, and that's let Liam Reston go through. But I wonder, is Benjamin Roberts going to capitalize now? Not waste any time. He does. He's going to capitalize, trying to go around the outside. He does make the line on the inside. That's a great move, Benjamin Roberts. trying to hang around the outside, then the inside line. Benjamin Roberts now back up into the top three, and that was a very quick recovery. But Abdul Fattah on his lonesome just put a tire Sohail on that white line and loses it. That's how much it cost him.
Yeah, he's just a little bit off, and that cost him so much. If you're just looking at Benjamin Roberts' onboard, you see how he went across with the move, and Abdul Fattah just breaking that tiny bit later, going that little bit deep, which is given the position to Benjamin Roberts there.
Sure, because I think right now we've got Kellen Chin now with William Reston 3 tenths behind him, but Benjamin Roberts, our winner from race 1, now has made it back into the podium spots. It's looking like a really good weekend for him right now. As we're right on board now with Abdul Fattah, half a second behind Benjamin Roberts. He's got a little bit of work to do for these two guys because there is a lot coming their way. And if Benjamin now keeps up this pace, I wonder with half of the race to go, he started at the back of the grid, and now he's up at a P3. So we've still got 10 laps to go. We've still got, 10 minutes to go. He's now 1.8 or say 2 seconds behind the leader. This is not impossible for him to win this race again.
Yeah, no, I mean, if he keeps up the pace, and considering that the top two are not from the same country or the same team, shall I say, they are going to battle it out hard. And if they keep battling it out hard, Benjamin is in for a good shot.
Absolutely is, because this is going to come down and it's starting to settle down a little bit. We see Kellen Chin now settling into that first place with Liam Reston behind him, but Liam Reston now is only 2 tenths behind Kellen Chin. I think there's a little bit of a battle running up for the lead at the moment because there is hardly anything in it between the two of them, with Benjamin Roberts a second and a half behind these guys. So there is a lot going on. Abdul Fattah now is hanging on to Benjamin Roberts, and that's great to see because he's less than a second behind him. Calic Spoon looks like he got eaten up early on, 1.3 seconds behind this group, and then Veer Seth and Chris Nagdev. Tom Katsudonis, we saw him trying to battle right up in the beginning, made a little mistake, had a little bit of contact with Veer Seth, and off he went, but that wasn't the safest rejoin. But right up in front now, Liam Reston lining up Kellen Chin for turn 1. Doesn't get close enough, but doesn't seem to get the move done. But Kellen Chin from Singapore, holding his own, and we saw him last race out. Oh, Kellen Chin's put a wheel on the grass. Is that going to slow him down? Because right now, Liam Reston is sizing him up to come down the inside line, and Liam Reston there is going to take the lead, or is he going to take the lead? Because no, he's not. Kellen Chin is now still holding it on, and these guys elbows out side by side. The last 3 corners is great racing. For one of them, the outside becomes the inside becomes the outside for the other. And right now we see Liam Reston, there we go, has taken that spot from Kellen Chin, is now leading the race in race number 2 at Phillip Island at the FMSCI Asia Pacific Single Seater Championship 2022. Liam Reston now has the lead with Kellen Chin behind and Benjamin Roberts in third.
Yeah, you can see the gap to Benjamin Roberts is now under a second with these two fighting it out for one lap alone, and with about 7.5 minutes remaining. I don't even know what we are to expect, and definitely right now Kellen Chin is going to come back at Liam Reston for the rest of this lap, as I don't know what one of them made a mistake because there were two very different lines.
Very different lines, that's allowing Kellen Chin now to get a deadly toe now. Oh, and there's a back marker right in front of him at the moment, but Kellen Chin makes it easier, but there we go. I think Kellen Chin now has gotten the lead back from Liam Reston, with Benjamin Roberts now hunting them down with 7 minutes to go. Liam Reston and Kellen Chin, they're pumping out such fast lap times that Benjamin Roberts behind them is almost, his first lap is almost a second quicker than the top 2 right now.
Definitely, that's the last lap alone. I mean, that's the amount of time basically that they lost in one lap to him, and he's cruising it ever so slightly at every single corner. And the moment he gets into enough tow, he's gonna be there right behind Kalen and Liam. And I'm sure Kalen is gonna feel the pressure more and more. If Liam's not putting enough pressure already on him, Benjamin's gonna come with a lot more pressure, and considering they're 2 Australians, they might be working together soon.
I mean, we saw it in the last time out where Benjamin and Tom worked very well together to basically outset Kalen, and they had him as a little Marmite sandwich and their little Australian veggie sandwich. But that is it. But Kalen Chin now is holding his own in the lead. I mean, I'm very, very impressed by Kalen Chin, the man from Singapore. The last 2 races, Sohail, he was, I mean, when we saw him in practice, he didn't make too much noise all the way until the end. And then we saw him at the end of practice. The first bit of qualifying was phenomenal. But we see Liam Reston now almost all over the gearbox of Kalen Shin. The toe there being super powerful, let him close the gap very, very quickly. But Liam Reston now all over the back of Kalen Shin.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely trying to use that toe to his advantage. And the very good thing that I'm actually seeing right now is that Liam's done a 23.3 on the last lap, Benjamin's done a 23.0, and Abdul Fattah is done a 23.2 on the last lap, which is really, really good considering, like, I mean, we didn't expect these kind of pace from our drivers at least, and they're showing us the pace, they're proving us wrong, which is definitely really, really good to see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've known Abdul Fattah as a very, very quick driver. He's been with us during lockdown, during the esports series that we ran then, and he was consistently quick, consistently winning races. So this is actually showing his true pace. He's only about 3 seconds off the lead, which is phenomenal for Abdul Fattah at the moment. But keeping in mind with the front now, as we go back down that long finish, down that long start finish straight, Liam Reston now is going to get a toe on Kalen Chin, but it's going to be close enough for him to make that move in a turn one. I wonder, because Kalen Chin has been driving his elbows out through and through, and there we go. We see him position that car beautifully, Soil, as he goes into the first two corners just to keep Liam behind him.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kalen is doing such a good job right now. He's making sure that he's driving very clean, very consistent, and he's making sure that the gap to Liam Reston is at least 3 to 4 tenths entering that main straight, because that is not allowing Liam the enough amount of toe that he needs to get past Kalen on the main straight, and entering the last 4 minutes of the race, about another 3 more laps to go, including this one. It's going to be a close finish, I believe.
Absolutely. I think 16 minutes have flown by in an absolute blink of an eye. There's been so much happening all the way up and down the grid, from that lap one, that Tom Katsudonis incident, to Andy Lee getting eaten up, to Alex Spoon getting overtaken, then Abdul Fattah in the lead for a little bit of while. Then we saw Kalen Chin make it all the way from the back in lap one. He was on the podium with Liam Resson and Benjamin Roberts quick on his heels. But we also have we do unfortunately have a few retirements with Paxton Chan, Andy Lee, Mario Abarts, and Onion. That was an unfortunate incident for him in the beginning. He was so quick in race one and in qualifying, and then in Zachariah. But right back here, Kalen Chin now, he's positioning that car so well at this moment. He's exiting that last corner to give him that little bit of an extra couple of car lengths between him and Liam Reston. But Liam Reston now all over the back of the gearbox again, but unable to make a move on Kalen Chin. Kalen is just driving so well with 3 minutes to go and about 2 laps left in this race. So we're going to see this come down all the way to the checkered flag, because Liam Reston now, he looks even closer this time around this corner, but just not enough to make it work. And while these two are battling, Benjamin now he was a little more than a second behind these guys, which is not what we saw representative of him in the first race. He was a lot quicker, he was a lot hungrier, and now he's just sitting back and biding his time a little bit, Sohail.
I think it's the game of the slipstream that is actually slowing him down, because, like I said, Kalen's making that gap of 2 tenths, 3 tenths, where Liam's not really able to overtake him. So as he's building up that pace, which is quicker currently than Benjamin, Liam trying to make a full use of that slipstream to close back up to Kalen, which is actually the down position for Benjamin. He's really losing out on that because of that slipstream. Like you see, he's 3 tenths away right now. By the end of the straight, he's going to be 1 tenth away, but he won't be close enough to make a move.
Yeah, you're right, because there we go. I mean, he's positioning that car so well, Kane. The last couple of laps, we've watched him. It's unless Liam now has to get a little creative, because he's tried this the last couple of laps. It hasn't worked. Kalen's been positioning his car beautifully, not making any mistakes under tremendous pressure from Liam Reston. Liam, I think, has gotten a little track limits warning there as he puts a couple of wheels on the grass. But right now, Liam has got to try something completely different, throw something out of the book at Kalen Chin, because right now, anything he's throwing at him, Kalen's got an answer for it to defend.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going to keep repeating the exact same thing over and over the lap, the car ahead is going to get more and more comfortable with what you're about to do and knows exactly what to do in order to keep you behind. And you need to be trying different things. You have to find ways And I'm sure Liam's trying to do his best, but Kalen's just coping so well with everything that he has to throw at him.
And this little bit where Liam is not able to bring it up close to the Kalen or break away from Kalen or overtake him is bringing Benjamin Roberts back into this. So Benjamin does still have a chance at the top step of the podium if he has to.
But we're going on to the last lap, Anjan. You're forgetting this.
Indeed. Indeed, this is the last lap of the race where we see the white flag waving. Kalen Chin, Liam Reston. This is going to be Liam Reston's last attempt, but there seems to be too far back. Kalen Chin had put 4/10 out of Liam Reston in that last sector. So I don't know if Liam made a mistake or not, but he just did not have any answer to Kalen's speed as he came out of that last corner at the moment, because you see him here. He's been supremely calm, collected, been under huge amounts of pressure. Ooh, he's put a little bit of a wheel on the grass. Is that going to be a bit of a mistake there and let Liam go back through? Absolutely not, says Kalen. Kalen saying nothing doing today is my day. So this is getting really exciting towards the last couple of corners as we go through here.
Yeah, definitely. Kalen's had a really strong showing in these two races. The second place in the first race and winning this race where his closest championship rival after race 1 is in P3. So that's gonna give him the lead of the championship at the end of this race if everything stays put as such. Because I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him.
As he locks up as he goes in that penultimate corner, you can see now Kalen Chin has not let anything upset his rhythm throughout this race. He's been unbelievably consistent, not put a foot wrong, held off Liam Reston and Benjamin Roberts, the Australians, who were coming at him like steam trains. And there we go, across the line with the checkered flag drops. Kalen Chin from Singapore is your race winner in race 2, followed by Liam Reston and Benjamin Roberts, the Australians on their home track with P2 and P3. Abdul Fatah, the Indian, takes P4. A wonderful race by him. Calic Spoon in P5 and Veer Seth in P6 with Chris Nagdev in P7. Tom Katsadonis in P8. Jackie Wong, Devesh Alluri in P9 and P10. Unfortunately, Paxton Chan, Andy Lee, Mario Vartanian and Dylan Zakaria were out of the race, and that's Dylan Zakaria being out for 2 races in a row. But let's take a deep breath here. The last couple of laps, the way Kalen Chin drove to hold off Liam Reston, to not give him any room, not put a wheel wrong, absolutely no mistakes, was a champion's drive there, Sohail, because this has pretty much opened up 2 countries battling it out as we go into racing tomorrow.
Definitely, this has been a really strong showing from all teams here, because some teams didn't look very strong in qualifying or even in practice, and then they have come back out to show us a result that we didn't expect, and that is really good to see.
Absolutely, I think these 2 races have pretty much given us something to look forward to. It's opened up this can of worms in this Asia Pacific Championship. It kind of tells us the strong ones, the ones that need to improve a bit, the ones that could spend a little more time practicing, and the consistency being key here with Kalen Chin and Benjamin Roberts putting on a great show in race 1, and then Kalen Chin and Liam putting on a supreme show in race 2. I wonder what has happened here, Soil, because we're seeing Benjamin Roberts. Oh, this is the first race. Sorry,
My bad.
you pulled up the first race. I was a little confused when I saw it. There we go, Kalen Chin, ladies and gentlemen, your winner on this beautiful Phillip Island circuit, the Asia Pacific Single Seater Championship 2022, followed by Liam Reston and Benjamin Roberts in second and third place. Both the Australians putting on a great show today in the first 2 races. Abdul Fatah then in the top 4, followed by Calic Spoon from Hong Kong. Veer Seth then in 6th place, Chris Nagdev in 7th, Tom Katsadonis with that unfortunate error in 8th place, Jackie Wong in 9th, Devesh Alluri finishing in 11th, Paxton Chan in 11th place, Andy Lee in 12th, Mario in 13th, and Dylan Zakaria rounding up that top 15. But Sohail, today has been 2 incredible races of rounds of racing. We've had 40 minutes has gone by in an absolute flash. And that being said, I think we're going to have a cracker tomorrow, because this championship right now is blown wide open between Kalen Chen, Benjamin Roberts, Liam. This could go to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is just the end of the first round. We've gone through two out of the six races that we're gonna see, and with two more races tomorrow, we're gonna see probably a closer championship and hopefully a closer championship amongst more drivers going into Suzuka, which is quite some time away on the 29th of October.
Indeed, and just to touch base on tomorrow, we're at Mount Panorama, and we saw how powerful the tow was here on that short Safran straight. Mount Panorama has a 2 kilometer back straight, so what do you think that's going to do for the drivers tomorrow?
I mean, I really hope cars overtake one on the first part of the back straight and the car overtakes the car that just overtook him back on the rest of the straight. I mean, it's just gonna be hilarious to watch being overtaken and then overtake the same car within the same straight again.
Indeed, because we've got so much over there, and of course, Mount Panorama has been built for GT cars and not these Formula One Dallara chassis. So it's going to be interesting because the track, it's uphill, it's downhill, it's tight, it's twisty. It goes through Bathurst like there's nobody's business, and I think it's one of the fastest, tightest, twistiest tracks we have here on the planet. So that race tomorrow is going to be supremely exciting because because certain tracks suit certain drivers, and who knows if tomorrow's track suits a whole different group of drivers. So
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still Australia's home race for the second day in a row. I mean,
absolutely, that gives them home advantage.
but like you said, like the track is not straight. It doesn't go the way you want it to. It's
Absolutely.
got a lot of bumps across the track, which is not going to be good for these cars generally. Like the drivers are gonna have to get it really, really good with the setup that they're running. A good amount of height, especially on these cars, but not too much because too much of height is gonna give them some instability. So, they need to find that right setup, and I think the setup's gonna play a bigger role in tomorrow's race rather than anything else.
And I can't wait for that, Sohel, because these guys now have 24 hours to sit between their teams. The Australian, the Hong Kong, the Indians, and the Singaporeans need to sit amongst themselves and redo their strategies for tomorrow because I can feel a cracker coming up, and there's nothing else because this today has given us two very, very exciting races, unbelievable races today. Kieran Chin, Benjamin Roberts, Liam Rasson putting on some supreme racing for us. Great talents to watch. But that being said, we're now coming to the end of this Asia Pacific Single Seater Championship, the FMSCI, brought to you by the FMSCI, for day one. Do make sure to join us at the same time tomorrow for day two, where we go to Mount Panorama and continue their battling. And I kid you not, from what we've seen today, we're probably going to be a lot more exciting tomorrow.